a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And today, our wonderful guest is Michelle. And I'm going to bring her on, and then I'm going to read what we're going to talk about. So hang on, let me bring you on, Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Gail.
Let me just read this little thing about Pioneer Soul Guides, which is what we're going to be talking about. And you can think about this as we're talking, and feel free to ask any questions as we're going along. But we're bringing in the new paradigm of love-based, higher consciousness, reality, freedom, and peace on earth. Our high vibrational frequency that we have developed have purified our hearts, lifted us out of deception and slavery, and has paved the way to higher intelligence that is exposing and overcoming all the darkness in our world. Many souls have taken on soul missions to aid humanity through a collective dark night of the soul, and to birth and anchor in expanded awareness of deeper perceptions, great discernment, and a goal to be of service to others. Very important, that is. All are here at this time for a reason, every one of you. Some have been ahead of their time, going through difficult life experiences, a part of the soul's preparation for their purpose, and to break cycles of abuse and oppression. Today, we will present a brand new poem from Michelle Marie that reminds all of us to take refuge in God's peaceful presence to move through difficult times, replacing all anxieties and challenges with the knowing that in truth, all is well. We are reaching the grand finale of creating peace on earth with goodwill toward all and joyful creative freedom. And that is what we're talking about today. Because one of the things that Michelle and I try to do, especially on our show, is to keep things as uplifting as possible. I know that on some of my other shows, I have to talk about some of the things that are happening in the world, and some of them are not that, certainly, they're not good. Like what happened in Maui and stuff like that. So anyway, so this show is to help bring you out of that type of thinking and feeling and so on and so forth. So you can take off from here any moment here, Michelle, with how do you want to start this? You talk about the paradigm shift and the pioneers. Why don't you explain to people what you mean by that?
Okay. I have to say my signal looks weak, and so just give me a sign, break up or freeze up or something, okay?
You're all green right now. So,
good.
Talk fast. No.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So many of us are paradigm pioneers, and we came here on a mission. A lot of us realize that, or we've had a hard life. We've come here to break cycles. We've come here to, move through all these different new energies. We came here with different levels of expertise and so forth. And so the front runners, Canon had a name for some, and they were like first wave, second wave, third wave volunteers and stuff like that. And so, and then we have old souls in young bodies, the indigo children, the crystal children, and
yeah, your child can be older than you in soul age.
Yes. So a lot of us have had our own little path of it's basically it was been training. And so we wondered, when we were going through it because we forgot, why am I going through this? Why is life so hard? Why is it one thing after another? But that was training, and our soul knows that was perfect. It was all just so perfect.
Because you survived it for one thing, and that gives you a strength that you never realized that you had. That's part of it. And
Yeah.
I look at it as, I call it system busters.
Yeah, absolutely. System busters, cycle busters. A lot of these paradigm pioneers have actually been the ones going through abuse and a lot of different things. And a lot of people are sort of like what's termed like the black sheep of the family, where they didn't fit in, or or the whole family was dysfunctional, and
Yeah.
you landed in it.
Exactly.
But anyway, so no matter how bad things were, you could always find someone that went through something worse. Especially now.
That's true. Oh my God, yes. I've gotten some emails from people, and I'm going, I'm like, people dying all around them for one thing, and
Yes,
just
yes, absolutely. So I got something. I was in meditation, and I got this little, message sort of thing that came through. And, a lot of times I just write and it flows, but it felt like I was receiving a message, because I would get it like a little bit at a time. And it was sort of slow and clear. And so a little different, almost like, being channeled. But I didn't get a source. When I do readings, a lot of times at the end of the readings, the source will, present its identity, but not always. But anyway, so I'm just going to read this little bit, the poem first. Which should, the chicken or the egg?
Your connection is a little weak.
Maybe you should read first.
Which would you want me to read your poem, the poem you wrote, the new poem? Or the other
either
poem?
one. You pick. You pick. We'll just flow with whatever you want to do.
Well, I'm going to go with that one you just wrote.
Okay.
I liked it, so okay, and the title of this poem is All is Well with the Soul. Feeling peace in deep communion, deep perceptions in blissful union, myriad scenes in multiple dimensions, objective perspective with no dissension, leaving behind life's ups and downs. Spirit takes refuge on higher ground. There's one thing certain behind life's curtain, all is well with the soul. Asking all question of God and guides, receiving loving answers where truth abides. Getting from spirit all that one needs, inspiration to serve love while doing good deeds. Not all on earth plane is easy, it's not. On the road to ascension, we might hurt a lot. Our body could feel pain or heart could be blue. We might not have enough money or know what to do. Leaving behind life's ups and downs, spirit takes refuge on. There's one thing certain behind life's curtain, all is well with the soul. It could be time for a nature break where body and soul would integrate, grounding spiritual ideals and energy gained, all other distractions and weights unchained. Play with the elementals and relax all day as the elements of nature purify your ray. Your light will shine brighter, your strength will grow. You can overcome anything, as you know. Leaving behind life's ups and downs, spirit takes refuge on higher ground. There's one thing certain behind life's curtain, all is well with the soul. By Michelle Marie Angel.
Yeah, I just wrote that a few days ago.
There. That was beautiful.
So
All is well with the soul. I like it when you have a recurring stanza.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what's interesting is my personal experience. I had a difficult day on Monday, and you know, I had a friend who told me I was having these pains. I get these digestive things, or I don't even know what. You know, they come and they go. And so a friend of mine was telling me that she was tired a lot and having pains because all the energy shifting and the ascension symptoms. And I know things come and go. And when we're consciously transmuting energy and we know that, you know, these things will pass and we're transmuting energy, we do it. We do it. And as we're letting go, you know, sometimes we feel pain, and it may come in different ways for different people. You know, emotional pain. You know, people are going through things, you know, individually and collectively, but it affects us individually. So,
You, you froze for a minute there.
okay,
Keep going.
I had a difficult day on Monday, and I meditate every day. So Wednesday, when I was meditating, I was just went into this. No, I think it was Tuesday, the very next day. So I had a difficult day the day before, and then I had a great deep meditation on Tuesday, and it was just, you know, when you're in deep meditation, you don't think about anything else. You think about what you're grateful for. You see things from a higher perspective. You're grounded in the peaceful presence of God. And it's just a great place to surrender and release and let everything go. And, you know, you see all the good things and you forget about everything else. It's just really just totally in suspended animation almost, you know.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, suspended animation. It doesn't exist. And so it really is like taking refuge on higher ground and leaving things behind. And, you know, I stayed in meditation and felt that peace for a very long time. Then I wrote that poem. I was inspired to write that poem. And I just, you know, I felt really good after I had felt really bad after going into deep meditation. So I wrote a poem, and it's sort of a reminder that, you know, we can leave our troubles behind momentarily even and go into the depths of our soul and go into that spiritual higher ground. And it's extremely beneficial and long lasting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, that's a wonderful poem. I really like it. As many of your works in your books and so on. So,
I thought you might like something fresh.
well, they all sound fresh to me because that's, you know, I haven't, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
So I can read this little message I got if you'd like.
sure.
Okay. This is about Pioneer Soul Guides. It's called Pioneer Soul Guides. And it came through like whoever was sending this through was being very careful about, you know, almost like making sure I wrote it down right or something.
Oh, is this a download or is this from, was this? Oh, okay.
Download. Yeah, download.
Okay. Cool.
There exists a group of souls who have conquered the obstacle course of the dense energies of Earth life in order to make a clear path for others to follow. These paradigm pioneers have raised awareness, increased the Earth's vibrations, and continually transmute lower vibrational energies using the alchemy of consciousness to consciously and continuously create a better world according to the divine plan. Each pioneer soul guide has a unique journey and with unique gifts to bless our world. The seeds have been planted. The sowers have sown. The next generation of souls inherit the harvest season. So now we're talking about sowers and reapers. All souls alive on planet Earth have the opportunity to harvest these higher vibrational realities and leave the old world of denser toils behind. Absorb the vibrational frequencies and follow the clear path of lighter living. Lift your vision. And then here's a Bible quote from Yeshua. Lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. So he's inviting us to take a higher vision, seeing the end result, seeing heaven on earth, and to keep lifting our vision, because what we focus our attention on and what we observe, whatever image, whether outside or inside, we're creating that reality. So it kind of goes along with last week too, where we were talking about miracles and setting intentions and focusing our attention on those visions for the new world. Because if we never do that, if we always focus on what's already been created or the outer world, and some of the things that are going on that are not so great, then we'll get more of the same. But we need to take time out to contemplate the divine plan, our soul's blueprint, our part in it, and to be on the other side, time travel, if you will, which is another topic I wouldn't mind talking about. But
we can talk about it.
Yeah, time travel, we can talk about that in a lot of ways, actually. But
timelines.
Yeah. There is no time where when you reach the realm of absolute spirit, there is a realm of absolute, and you're in the realm of the eternal. And in the eternal, it's like the changeless. No time, no space, no change. You reach the absolute. And that's where you find the greatest and deepest peace. And it almost like coats your body and coats your cells and coats your soul with this, peace. The peace that passeth all understanding, actually. That's where that comes from. And so, that's what I brought in after I had that very difficult day. But we're all doing that now. We're tuning in. And what you read in the poem about, reaching that higher ground, whether you do it in meditation or whether you do it in nature or however you do it, reaching the higher ground, sets you back to that centered in peace, centers your soul in peace. And then you stay centered, and then you just get in alignment and attunement with those higher vibrational frequencies. So it's like tuning back in and receiving that light of God, from the spark, right from your soul. And it's very refreshing. And sometimes, we might forget, or we might forget how good it feels, or how long it lasts, or how much guidance we get. And we just might get, stuck in problems or worries or something. And there's always a way out. There's always a refuge. And not only, does the refuge provide peace, but it also provides solutions and an attunement to, different higher vibrational frequencies. So I was inspired, and I wrote a poem when I transmuted energy that needed to be transmuted. And I also felt better the whole rest of the week.
I bet. Well, one of the things that poem does, and one of the things that we hope to accomplish, is to empower the divine within others, as well as ourselves, of course. But that is what's been missing in our life, because we were told by many religions and so on that, we're not good, or we're sinners, and we're this and we're that, and it just gives you a poor vision of yourself, and pulling yourself out of that is a challenge at times. Feeling worthy to receive is important.
Yeah, well, since you said that, we could read the worthy poem too, because I really love that poem. That is so, so important. You know, that sense of worthiness. And
Where is that poem? I would read that. That's a different one. That's not lofty
no,
ideals.
no,
is it?
that's a different one. You know, that's the thing. Sometimes things come up in our conversations and it might point us to a poem.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because empowering divine within is extremely
Yeah, I
important.
will tell you exactly where it is. It is in Forever Free. I know it's in that book. And you got it? You're
Yeah,
fast.
I know. I mean, I got the book.
Oh,
I didn't find the poem yet.
let's
Oh, I found it. I did find it. I take it back.
You're so
I was led right to it when I said that. Page 70. 70.
Yeah, 70. That's it.
Okay. I like the next one right next to it too, Working for God.
Oh, yeah, we just
That's
we
good.
talk about it. Well, we're going to circle back to time travel after we're done reading some of these poems. But I do want to say aloha to David Anthony, because he wrote
Yes.
something very sweet. Hang in there, kiddo.
Yes.
A cleansing coming down from upstairs. Take care. One love, loved ones. Yeah, very good. God bless.
He's been watching our shows for some time. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. We do. Okay.
And thank you, Kevin.
And thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I did. Okay. I Am Worthy is the name of the poem. Okay. I am a child of God, worthy in every way. My special talents and virtues through my expressions I display. I am a child of God who treasures me as dear. I grow in and accept more love with each passing year. I am a child of God, expressing pure virtue. Sending in my integrity to myself, I am true. I am a child of God, speaking truth from my feeling. I stand my ground with power, no longer bending or kneeling. I am a child of God, sowing seeds of my potential, knowing who I am is only necessary credential. I am a child of God, worthy of kindness and appreciation. I love myself to my sparkling core, to my soul's elation. I am a child of God, made his and her image. I know that I am worthy, coming through heavenly lineage. I am a child of God, loving my freedom and wealth. I claim my divine birthright, co-creating perfect health. All of the humans upon the earth are also children of God, my brothers and my sisters, as each of our paths we trod. I am a child of God, expression, open affection. Let's value the Spirit of God in all as we realize our connection. And I think people are realizing their connection now more than ever.
Yes.
And it's because when we're faced with all kinds of things that are no fun to go through, that's where we usually go and find refuge, just like what we were saying. So that's a great poem.
Yeah, it's always a good reminder. Good reminder. Yeah. So do you want to talk about time travel, or do you want to read the other one, or do you want to talk about something else?
Well, let's go with time travel a little bit, because and you can speak about what you know. I have I have some knowledge in that area, but it's somewhat limited. Go ahead.
So the first part I'm going to talk about is time travel in consciousness. So when we reach the 0 point zone, when we, go into, close our eyes and go into the non-local, non-linear, state of awareness, and we're just like objective observers, and, we're just in that space. And really there is no time, in our mind, everything is now. Everything is now. You're in the eternal moment of now. No time, no space, the eternal moment of now. And when you're in causal consciousness, you're creating images that are going to show up as realities. So you know you're creating, you're in causal consciousness, and you're creating things. Well, the thing is, two things. One, you can revise your reality that way. You can like revise your vision, and you can like do do-overs for as a matter of fact. So you can create and you can do do-overs. Now check this out. Now I'm going to talk about Project Looking Glass. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
white hats
Sure.
are up to. So they have Project Looking Glass. And so, you know, their plan is in attunement and the one and the same as God's divine plan from my perspective. And so in the time travel, used in a positive way, I think some souls have been going to find out what could have happened and then heading it off at the pass. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then allowing the appearance of what could have happened. Like a lot of people say we're in a movie right now, and there's different versions of people. You know, Biden 2.0, so-and-so 2.0, 3.0, you know, all these different people that aren't the originals,
Mm-hmm.
as some of us have discovered. But so imagine if everything that we're seeing was what was going to happen, but in reality, you know, so because we still need to go through and learn things, we are still using these processes to transform our consciousness and transmute energies and become united. We're becoming united at the heart level, united and purified. And we're showing up to be the best we can be to help our brothers and sisters. So imagine that when this is all said and done, a lot of the things that we thought happened, it was just an appearance of what could have happened. And, you know, certain things, and I'm sure this has happened, but a lot of the people and even children who you might have thought were you know, taken or whatever, could have been, all that could have been over a long time ago, and everything was headed off at the pass, and everything's just playing out for appearances.
So, in other words, we're seeing an illusion.
Yeah, made for appearances, so that because with time travel, and remember the technologies, Tesla was involved. Who was involved with Tesla? You know, John's family.
Trump's.
And remember all those books about time travel with the Trumps. And
Yeah.
so
Barron in particular.
Exactly. So I know that it's good to, if something's a possibility that someone's been hurt, and I will, you know, we pray, we have compassion, we do what we can. That's us showing up and transmuting energy and basically passing a soul test. You know, I'm here to give, you know, I'm you know, we're united, you know, we're playing along and we're participating, but you know, it's possible that the truth is actually, you know, not, and I'm sure it is, it's not what it seems. So, for example, a lot of people talk about the kids missing from Maui. And if you had that Project Looking Glass and you saw something like that coming, would you go and put everybody in safekeeping? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm just saying. And is it too late? Can we still time travel and revise? I don't know, but I think anything's possible. And I wrote a poem actually, and that was in there, and it was about a new day has dawned. And I wrote about all the different things that have happened. And then I said in it, can we change the past? Can we change the past?
They can't they?
Anything possible. So that's sort of an uplifting thought. What do you want to say about time travel?
Yes. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, except that I know that they have a looking glass, and I know that they can see backwards and forwards to a certain degree, and that way they can anticipate what the other guys are doing, or what plan is in operation, whether it's divine or otherwise. And then I just know that they have a whole book out on Baron Trump time travel, and I believe that Trump himself time travels as well. I think there's technology to that effect, that we just have all these things have been kept from us. And just like the guy who said, some general came forward and said that everything you saw in Star Wars or Star Trek, we can do that.
Yeah. And so we're all learning to use that technology. We don't need Project Looking Glass. We don't need that. So in this book right here that I mentioned last time, The Physics of Miracles, one of the tools they use is time travel. And you do everything with your mind and intent. These are consciousness technologies. So one of the healing things that has been used successfully is called time travel. And so, you can use that. So you can use it in your mind. You can go back in so-called time to reverse aging, disease, anything like that. So we're just now coming on board with these consciousness technologies and becoming masters. And I just wanted to bring that up because you open up to different possibilities, and then you start trying things out like a scientist, and then you discover things that work, and then you pass them on. And that's part of being a paradigm pioneer as well. But we do time travel. We go to the eternal moment of now in meditation when we reach the absolute, eternal spirit of truth, absolute truth.
In order to manifest, we have to be in the now and have in the heart and have passion for what we're attempting to manifest. Isn't that correct? Which is why it's so important for us to see the beautiful earth and future that we hope to have. By the way, we do have a question from Brian asking, do you think the Lord is affiliated with the aliens and knows about the UFO sightings?
Yes, I think that there's a lot of interdimensional and higher dimensional beings. And, there's a lot of different words being thrown around, like galactics, light beings, angels. And I don't think that we have the vocabulary really codified or down pat as far as, discussing all these different beings of light, individual souls or over souls, or, stuff like that. But extraterrestrials, aliens, all those names, I think that we are interdimensional, and
we are extraterrestrials too, from what I've read.
Yeah, I remember when I was really young, I remembered, not being from here. But when he said, do you think the Lord is affiliated with the aliens and knows about the UFO sighting? Yes, God is all-knowing. That's one of his, main things. All-powerful, all-knowing, and everywhere present. So all-knowing is all-knowing. Definitely affiliated.
My guess is that question may be related to something that I've told a number of times by people with a kind of a religious background, so to speak, and that is that they think that aliens are demons.
Oh.
What would you say to that?
Well, I have a different perspective. I'm not normal. Everything is energy.
Neither am I, but that's okay. So,
I like it.
That's why we work well together.
Right. Everything is energy. And, the whole thing is we are learning self-discovery. Know thyself, know thy true self. And by getting to know our true self, then we get to know the all and the oneness. And because we're all part of all of it and we're connected. So we're very, in expanded awareness, we realize that we are all part of the one. So it's like a holograph, and the divine spark within us carries all the same energy in every divine spark and everywhere. So, we're multidimensional. There are different levels of vibrational frequency, and we traverse those with our awareness. And so, we could meet our future self, for example, and say, oh, wow, you're an alien, or you're an extraterrestrial, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. You just reminded me of something that Drake said on the show one time. When he ran into himself.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, "Oh my God, talk about being scared." That's quite I mean, can you imagine what it might be like to all of a sudden you walk into a room and there's somebody that looks exactly like you?
Yeah. How fun though.
Yeah. Anyway, well, identical twins get to have that fun all the
time.
Right.
Exactly. Okay. I actually went into a restaurant about a week ago, and this girl said to me, I go there, sort of on a regular basis. She goes, were you here 2 days ago sitting right over there? I said, no, I wasn't here that day, but I come here often. She goes, there was someone that looked exactly like you. And it was really interesting. I was like, yeah, that happens.
Wow. Well, that's kind of scary sometimes too, because what I understand is they can take only two cells from you, and make another you with it, with the technology that so obviously it's not really you, it just looks like you.
Exactly. But here's the thing, I mean, they do clone people and stuff like that, but people with Rh negative blood can't be cloned. And I read the whole scientific explanation of why Rh negative can't be cloned, and
why can't they be cloned?
Well, I was just going to say, there were all these big words that I couldn't remember or repeat, but it did go through a succession of scientific processes of cloning and why Rh negative people can't be cloned. And Rh negative people are very much affiliated with ETs and higher sensory perception and stuff like that.
What do you think that means? I mean, why?
Well, because the Rh negative was the rhesus monkey gene that they injected into some of the human DNA in order to downgrade it, because they wanted a population that they could control. So
was that the Rh positive or the Rh negative?
Well, the Rh negative does not have the Rh
gene.
It doesn't have the rhesus monkey gene.
Okay.
And so the extraterrestrial type DNA and consciousness is more prevalent. But I really think that because of epigenetics, we can always reverse and get back to normal, and have our DNA strands activated, have them upgraded, have them repaired. I think that there's something about DNA that regenerates itself. I don't think they can really permanently harm us.
Alter it. That very interesting that you said that, Michelle, because, and the reason I say that is because I knew someone who was a farmer, and we were talking about GMO seeds, and he said, I can turn that seed around in about 2 or 3 generations.
Great.
And it'll be back to its original blueprint.
Yeah.
So
if you think about epigenetics, and you think about the pioneer soul guides and the paradigm pioneers, if we're all one, and a group of us is concentrated on raising vibrational awareness, vibrational frequency and awareness and consciousness, well, it's going to spill over and positively affect and benefit everyone else. So we get to benefit from each other's work, and we get to benefit in consciousness because we're all connected. So you think about all the different jobs and all the different assignments and all the different missions that people are on. And, you know, we see people that are just doing amazing things, and we're like, wow, they're really doing great work. And we're really benefiting from all that. And we can actually set the intention, you know. There's a, oh goodness, shining your light. That actually reminds me of a poem I really should read, but it's really,
You know,
it's really cool that happens that way. And it's encouraging that we're all here together. We're not individual parts. We're not separate. That's a good thing.
yes. We're individual in the sense of our own uniqueness, but at the same time, we're still all connected because we all have the divine spark. And
Mhm.
you do to someone else, you do to yourself too.
Exactly.
Is another way. They say, I see you. If you remember in the movie Avatar, when they say, I see you, that is right there indicating that connection that people have. And it was the Mayans had this saying, in Lakesh, which
Yeah.
you know, is very similar. All these things have been demonstrated in the past through other civilizations from long ago. One of the things too that I just want to mention here, that I know everybody's worried about the divine plan and the white hats, and are they doing? When are they going to do what we want them to do that becomes visible and all that? One of the things that I just heard this morning, as a matter of fact, listening to 107, was saying that they want 80% of the population to be aware of what's going on, and otherwise, they think there's too much of a risk for civil war.
Right. I understand that that's like one of their major objectives is to avoid that. Yeah, I think we made a lot of progress. I'm gonna actually when I go into meditation, I'm gonna ask where we're at. I never really asked that question before, but all the questions get answered. It's really, I'll tell you some experiences about that. It's weird about getting answers when I'm not
When you
trying.
least expect it, is that what does it happen that way, or when you least expect it, all of a sudden you get the answer?
And yeah, and things that other people ask me, and I don't know the answer, but the answer comes through my mind. So anyway, I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute.
I get it. I get
This
it.
poem is called "Reflecting Your Light," and it is a new world after all, and it's on page 86. Page 86.
Oh yeah, okay. Did you want me to read it? Are you reading it, or you want me to read it? Either way, I don't care.
You can read it. I'm just going to say it came from the section called Reflection. And the quote is, when we interface with life as our own reflection, we unify our own aspects of self within and come into balance and wholeness. And then you can read the poem, Reflecting Your Light.
Okay. It is my deepest pleasure as you run your energy through my soul to reflect your light right back to you and help you reach your goal of mastering your creating who you choose to be, letting nature unfold naturally. The mirror that I am, the things you love in me, are all about yourself, my friend. Those are the things you see. And if you don't see my qualities, my strength I hold inside, then you don't see yourself. Hey, you don't have to hide. And you know your dark side that you have now revealed. That's just like me, and you know it. My layers have been peeled. Together we exchange energies and we mutually evolve as we experience our oneness and meet our soul's resolve. I am the only one that comes into your space. How much do others reflect you? Can you
I'm sorry.
see it?
That says I'm not the only one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I could
okay.
use a little more light here, actually. I am not the only one that comes into your space. How much do others reflect you? You can see it in their face. Excuse me. As we sense each other's energy field, consciously exchanging, we realize we are shifting this world, beneficially rearranging. So conscious are we all of our current transformation. We bond our visions powerfully for heavenly creation, where the rivers of love run deep through our souls, and we treat each other as precious as gold.
Yay.
Yay, wouldn't that be the day? I mean, most people would treat gold better than other
It's
people.
coming. It's coming. And we really are positively benefiting each other. And that's a big point of encouragement, because I see people that are doing amazing things. And I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
people are really stepping up. I mean, for a while, like a year ago or so, even when I'm going, oh my God, we need help. Getting this information and awareness out there, and sometimes you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, and you just want people to know and be aware. You know, and sometimes you can be aware. You don't have to necessarily agree, but just being aware is knowledge that you have, and may be able to use that at a later date because something in that awareness actually comes to fruition.
Awareness is light. Awareness is light. And just like I wrote at the beginning of Forever Free, the stars do come out at night. We all get activated at the perfect divine timing. So we get activated when we're, it's like a play, and your part is, to do a certain thing. And it's like, okay, Gail, you're on stage now. Let's go. It's time for you to get on stage.
Well, I definitely feel like I'm on a mission. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
as you are as well, and your enlightenment from your books was years ago before all this stuff was happening, and it's just spot on right now.
Yeah.
So much of it. It's awesome.
A lot of people are talking and promoting and, advising people to meditate. And I hear that on almost, just a very large percentage of, of broadcasts of shows. A lot of people are saying, at the end, they'll say, well, what can people do? And, oftentimes people will say, meditate, find some quiet time to yourself every day. And, that has actually helped me to be grounded and centered, and quite frankly, to survive some of the crap I've gone through.
Well, you're not alone in terms of crap you've gone through. It
Believe
seems like
me.
all of us are going through something somewhere,
Well,
or really have gone through a lot.
a lot of us signed up for it. A lot of us that's what we signed up for. It is so prevalent. It is not unusual. And I knew that was a universal experience for paradigm pioneers. But if anybody said they were, all the difficult things in their life, I thought, wow, they're being trained for a very, important job. And everybody's job is important. But, you might be a high level player if you went through some really things like life or death things a lot, even, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I definitely think that, and that's really true. And just like, for an example, and I think you've had this experience too. I've already been through an experience where I lost everything I had.
Yeah.
I lost,
Oh, yes.
lost my place, lost my car,
Hmm.
lost it all
Yeah.
already.
That's a typical
At
dark
least
night
one
of the
time.
soul. Typical, where you lose everything that you could have been identified with. It's a very spiritual experience, because what do you have? And you just have yourself, and your what you have within you, what you have become, and you have the tools, and you have the strength of soul, and your soul always knows what to do. And you just, you pick up, you rebuild. And I'm sure we've been through that many times, and then we're like, well, time to rebuild again, I guess.
I didn't really want to have to do this again, but Been there, done that.
That actually,
Just knowing that you
that,
just knowing that you can survive these things is really important.
that reminds me of another book I wrote, which I don't have available right now, but it's called A Case of Mistaken Identity. And basically it's becoming, identified with your job title, the kind of car you have, things that are
Oh,
outside.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's called A
yes.
Case of Mistaken Identity, and it's really fun and cute. And it's one of my 48 stories for awakened awareness. And when I do it's part of my classes, and I just have so many pieces and parts, and I just
That
pray for them to all come together, because I haven't gone public with the whole ball of wax, the whole entire set of books and events, but I'm chomping at the bit to do it.
well, one of those things just that reminds me of mistaken identity. When you say that, we have put so much into our self-image of, like, in the past, just as an example, well, I'm a nutritionist, or I'm this, or I'm that, and if you've done the same exact thing your entire career, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's taken from you. You are devastated until you come to the realization that you still are who you always have been, and everything happens for a reason, and it just changes your whole perspective and helps you to grow spiritually, and makes you recognize that very fact, that you are not what your career is, you are not what you have, you are not what you have in your pocketbook,
Right.
all those
Those
things.
are all ego identifiers. And so I use the same language that you used, that it's just an image, a show, but it's a sham. And who you really are is the essence of yourself, and the qualities and the gifts and the talents you are inside, your unique self, your true God self. And that's why, Socrates said, know thyself. And he was talking about know thy true self, because the spiritual eternal light being is something that inhabits this body temple or vessel, and can also transmute, transform, and bring it all to light, and create a new body out of light if something happens to this one, which is what Yeshua did. We can all do that. So that's what we're learning. We're learning all these consciousness technologies, whether it's time travel or, creating things out of that one divine spark. I've been practicing all kinds of things with intentions and visions, and I know that that's scientifically, that's how consciousness works. Consciousness creates reality. And so I know everything that I've created will come to pass. And it's natural anyway, because the soul, the human being, the soul goes through a natural progression of evolution. And, we have the guides and masters and angels leading us and helping us and showing us the way, like Yeshua.
Yes. Yeah, but let me add, the other thing that I think that has happened, that I think has helped a lot of people too, is that there were things like frequency fence. There were things that we were programmed that would interfere with the reality that we were creating, based on the perception that they had created by the information they gave to us, which was pretty much always lies.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that puts us into fear, or makes us think that we're not free and sovereign, and anything that we buy into and let our consciousness create, we need to absolutely lift our vision. It's not their vision that we want to create. It's our vision. It's our attunement with God. It's our soul's blueprint. We are, a soul seed, and we plant ourself as a soul, and then we grow into our highest potential. And we all are doing that. And so we transmute any energy, release any programming that makes us feel limited, and not buy into that crap of, good, or, this is how it is. It's not how it is unless we agree to it. We do not consent. We create our own reality. We are standing in our power. That's where humans are going right now. And I see it and I love it.
Yes, finally, people are beginning to stand their ground, so to speak, and stand in their power and say, no, I'm not doing that. Not anymore. There's so much information out there that if anybody does any research, they can see that they're standing for the right thing. And then plus, I'm almost sure they already know in their heart, but they're afraid. And that fear is something that they use to manipulate us and mind control us, because when we're in fear, that is when we're more easily manipulated into whatever it is that they want us to think or do.
Yeah. Hey, I have an idea. Actually, you had the idea, but I want to remind you of the idea.
Okay.
It was your idea. I'm crediting you. And so you mentioned the poem, Everybody Works for God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. I don't know if you saved the place or anything like that, but
Unfortunately, no. Which one was that in?
It's in Forever Free.
Oh, okay. Well, it might be very close to where. It must be something you're remembering about it. Well, it's got to be near page 70, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's on 71. There it is.
That's it.
Okay. Did you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
I want you to read.
I'll read it. You wrote it.
I already did my part.
Okay.
It's your turn.
You did. Okay. Working for God. We all work for God, whether we know it or not. But when we do know, our life changes a lot. We listen to that still small voice inside. The voice of infinite wisdom is our guide. Oh, God is subtle and ingeniously clever. We don't always see his hand on the lever. Just sit back and reflect, and you'll get a quick kick, and you'll get quite a kick when you see such absurdities, then divine edict. First, there's the saint who reflects the heavenly source. Then there's the dark one who betrays him, of course. The saint becomes known far and wide by this show. His loyalty and faith proves God he does know. He is lifted up into eternal life in high heaven as he continues to forgive 70 times 7. So even the dark ones serve God in the end, but unconditional love finally makes him God's friend. How do you serve God in your own way? What do you feel when you brighten someone's day? We all work for God when we express love from our heart. We all work for God as we play our life's part. Is there another page here?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Isn't that sort of funny though?
Yes.
I thought there was some humor in there.
Yes, there was. Right. So where do we go from here?
Well, I think that let's talk about our world for a minute. Things are changing rapidly.
Rapidly, yes.
Yes. And there's a lot of damage and destruction, and also a lot of awareness and construction.
Someone loves your phone.
Oh,
Brian loved your poem.
Thank you, Brian. God bless you. Yeah, I tune in and give God the glory because I'm not that smart. I mean, like my individual, what I used to think of myself was never disconnected, if you know what I mean. So anyway.
Well, most light workers have been there, done that.
Yeah.
And turned it around, don't you think? Yeah.
So, there really are so many shining stars coming out. You see acts of compassion. You see, more awareness.
Oh,
Well,
people are digging and digging deep now too about things that happen. They said, "Oh, this is a good. I'm going to get to the bottom of this." And they go down that rabbit hole, and in a day or so, people are coming forward with what really happened.
I'm seeing things like, okay, I saw a whole bunch of videos and memes and everything about people reacting to the fact that they might try to, start another, COVID or pandemic or something like that. And people are creating the most powerful and often funny reactions to that, like, no way, Jose. But so much of that is coming out that you can tell that the majority has changed, have awakened. It's
It's true.
evident.
It is evident. It is evident just by
It's
people's
not going to
response.
fly.
Yeah, people are. Yeah, I love it. It's wonderful because more and more are becoming aware, and that's the only way that we can take these guys down that are want to enslave us
Yeah,
totally.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'll watch more of those. They just crack me up. Some of them are just really, really funny and creative. There's a song. Oh, I wish I could have thought of that beforehand. There is a song. I'll just send it to you in a link when I find it, and then maybe on the next show we can play it. But it's really cute. We should do
Okay.
the next one on non-compliance. I love that topic.
Yes, yeah,
Non-compliance.
that's a good one. Maybe next week we'll do one on non-compliance. That's why I used to. That's why I remember I showed you the song "Resist" that the guy had done.
Yeah,
I know his spelling, but that's not the important part. The idea is the message because says exactly what you should do.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, so people are very creative about saying no as well, and bringing a lot of humor into it. But everyone's doing a great job. When you look at the overall big picture, even though the media might want to show you like, oh, the world is ending, or all these bad things are happening, it's being
I know.
purified. Our hearts are being purified, and believe me, what's at the end of it all the beautiful heaven on earth, everything back to pristine higher dimensional love frequencies. It's really getting cleaned up and cleaned out, and as are we in our heart. So it's like the individual and the collective, and our beloved uh planet earth, Gaia, Terra herself, Sophia,
Gaia.
Gaia, Gail of Gaia. We love your name.
Yeah, that's Gaia. Mother Earth.
Yeah. God bless our Earth Mother. In one of my poems, I
Yes.
call her Mommy Earth. Like, Mommy, I love you.
She's so beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's part of my consciousness shift. I'll walk around and just be looking around and going, everything's so beautiful. Everything's
I know.
beautiful. Thank you, God.
Every Yeah, every time I drive to town here, I just look and I'm looking at all these beautiful red rocks, and now I'm seeing faces and all of them ever since Thunderbeat got me looking for that kind of thing.
I know. That was another thing that came through this week. It was like there's going to be like new perceptions, and because of all of the different perception shifts and changes, it's going to be seamless. Like it'll happen, like you might see auras or angels or you know whatever, galactics in form, but things are going to shift, and our world is expanding as our consciousness is expanding, but it's going to be seamless. It's just going to be oh yeah, I remember that. My star
That's
family will come
wonderful.
along and I'll say, hi, I remember you, I love you, what a great reunion. And that's the other thing, reunions. I watched a lot of
The gathering,
yeah,
yeah,
near-death
reunion, the gathering.
experiences where they all have all these reunions and everything, so we can traverse dimensions. And I will like talk to people and, connect heart to heart with some of my loved ones that have crossed over, and, just talk to them from my heart saying, I love you. And, even just having a vision or intent or a feeling of, doing, kisses and hugs and what you do when you reunite with, people. But we're going to have it where we're meeting on the same dimension too, which is going to be so cool. I've always known we're going to have a lot of reunions. It's going to be so cool.
Our star families, the ETs.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I send them my love, and I'm sure we're in telepathic connection. I'm sure that's, probably where a lot of my stuff has come from, the telepathic connection, or that vibrational frequency, that channel, the channel, like that radio station.
And, people can actually work on practicing telepathy.
I do.
Too. I try to too, as much as I, whenever the opportunity presents itself. Or it's easy to do with family members.
Yeah. My son and I have done that. Sometimes people that you connect with. Recently, I met a young person who, really instantly we sort of connected on that level, and were evidence of thinking the same thing at the same time. And basically, it's sort of like when the phone rings and you know who it is before you answer.
Yeah.
It was something like I was going to say something, and then this person asked something that was, what I was going to say was the answer to what she was asking. So I love that. Resonant souls.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I should have shut up.
Yeah.
I forget to do that sometimes. Speaking of people, that was my son.
Or no accidents. God bless your son. Here's a comment from Brian.
Let's see. When two people were once together and they're separated for a long, when they are reunited, is that God sent or commandeered? I think he meant.
I think God is the orchestrator of everything. I mean, God is the all that is. And so it's sort of the paradox of, well, it's like being tuned into the same frequency. Everything is vibrational frequency, and everything is God. Everything is light. Everything is consciousness. And so we're all one. So I think God orchestrates everything. So yes, as a matter of fact, now that I'm, sort of contemplating it a little bit more, I feel, yes, God sent. And I think that this soul that recently came into my life is God sent and is directly related to my very specific aspect of my soul purpose.
Persistent. Anyway, Barry, you had said, I think it was before the show started, where you talked about, you had read something about there is this very type of thing that he's talking about that's happening. Like people that you knew in the past are coming forward, and I don't know if it's unfinished business or what it is exactly, but
I can't say why it's happening. But I will say the information that I received was a friend who was referring to astrological
alignments.
Yeah, something, whatever's happening in, astrology right now. It's sort of like a time where people from the past are coming back into your life. And I think she was talking about people from the past in this lifetime. But when Brian speaks, I'm thinking of even people that have been together in other lifetimes, that souls come together and get reunited as souls. I've met a lot of souls in my life, knowing that I knew them in a past life. I knew I hadn't met them yet in this life. So it's kind of like both souls from past lives, and then also people already known in the past in this life coming back. So it's interesting. Yeah. We both said it at once. Okay, is there anything else that you want to bring up or talk about or open a book to any page or last note?
Wasn't there one other poem that we're going to
Oh,
read, and maybe
yeah.
we could?
Lofty Ideals.
And
I forgot about that one. And
yeah,
I wrote the page number down. Let's see. Yeah, I've got it right here. Do you want to read it?
what? I don't have the page at the moment.
97, and it's in Forever Free. And it's just one page.
Good, because my eyes are
5.
not acting right. My lighting is bad for reading. Okay. Lofty ideals. High upon a mountaintop, ascend attention there. Sparkling rain ideas fall, encircling heaven's stare. Higher I climb above the earth, to realms of pure love, home before birth. Through starlit doors, awareness glides, through picture shows of cosmic slides. New and refreshing values from soul and spirit flow, anchored in purity, directs the mind to know. Secure in this union, ideals expressed through me, aloft in spirit's embrace, heart opened in eternity.
And that's what I was mentioning before. When you take your soul to that realm of the absolute, to the eternal moment of now, you're in the realm of the absolute where nothing changes, no time, no space. It's a realm. It's a, your soul knows it's there when it's there.
All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot.
I think,
And
very good. Yeah.
yes. So we can call that a wrap today.
Yeah.
And unless you have anything else to bring up, I did want to, if you don't mind, share my screen on a couple of things at the end here.
Sure.
Again, this is a listener supported program, and I also have affiliate products and so on, and all that helps, when you get something as well. So let me just show a couple of things that you can look at. First of all, this one here is actually wait a minute, I didn't push share, did I? There it is. This is a resource for you that I want you to be aware of. This just came out just recently, and it's called The Best Is Yet to Come. Bestisyet.net is the easiest way to remember it. And they have a lot of very interesting, they have a timeline here. Let me just show you scroll quickly. They have all the interviews by Tucker Carlson, Robert Kennedy, being aware of what's going on, and all of these different topics are covered. Greg Reese, he's great. I really
like his stuff too.
I do too. Yeah, he's
He
really
packs
good.
a lot of stuff in a short, little, concise video, which is really nice.
Now, this one I was going to listen to based on the physics of manifestation and miracles and see what this one was all about. But anyway, I haven't read any of this. I just found out about it. And this was a great video.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
Yeah, she's awesome. And the truth is coming out on all of this. And
faster and faster.
Anyway, there's more and more.
That is a good resource.
Yes, it is. So that I wanted to share that with people. I just recently found out about it. And
I'm sure you put the link below, correct?
I don't have that link but I'll add it at a later time. Okay. Because and then the other thing that I think that I've had amazing stuff with, and I just want you to take a look at it, and it's called the Super Patch. The studies are there to back what's being said and about these different patches for different things. But I want you to hear this one little piece at the end here by this. Now, right now, he was talking about when the company first started, but there's just a little bit here I want you to listen to.
really hear it.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll just stop sharing for now. Basically, it's the I don't know why you couldn't hear it. I could hear it. That's weird. But anyway, nonetheless, it's also it's called Super Patch, and I do have a link in the description, and there have been really amazing results that people have, and I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. And it's backed up by studies as well. And what I like about it, it's drug-free, non-invasive, and I like the drug-free part a lot. And people have been getting sometimes immediate results, which is really amazing. So, all right. Well, I'll just ask you to look in the links rather than taking up more time with the show here and letting you look for yourself. And please do. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Gail, for all the work you do, and putting these podcasts together, and sharing different things with people, and specifically thank you for having me come on as your guest regularly to provide some extra uplifting spiritual perspective. I really appreciate your work, and I know you do a lot of work. And if I could promote Gail, I would say buy her a coffee.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate your work as well. Your books are awesome, and so is your poetry. I do a lot of work, and I do spend a lot of time. It's a full-time job for me to do this. The only reason that I keep doing this is because I love to do it. Otherwise I would have quit a long time ago if it was all based on money, because there just isn't that much involved.
It's your soul's purpose. It's your mission. Soul's purpose, mission, and so you have passion.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, that being said, we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening. And I never do this right as well as you do. I gotta work on my heart here. Literally.
God bless everybody. Namaste.
Yes, namaste, everyone. In Lakesh as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors.